my business was not making any money. I was constantly doubting myself. I was constantly in my head. I knew you weren't fluff when I saw you actually diving in and releasing those past kind of traumas and those things that would hold people back. It honestly, parts of it felt like magic. Like parts of it felt like Zach, what is Zach doing here?
Welcome to the channel, Zack Michael here, and in this video I'm going to share with you a recent client interview that I just wrapped with a coach who was holding himself back in a lot of ways. He had self-doubt, he had limiting beliefs, there was a lot going on with him prior to joining the program, and he gets into a lot of detail sharing about what it was like for him to hold himself back, why he was unable to crack through on his own, and what it's like for him now, having completely reversed everything that he was experiencing before. And in fact, now he's even doing better than he was before joining the program. So let's get right into the interview. So, Chase, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How are you doing, Zach?
Awesome, really well. Good to see you again. So we just wrapped up our program together and thought we'd pop on here on a little interview conversation and kind of get to know what your experience has been like. So yeah, let's have a little chat about your experience throughout the program.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So Chase, when you started thinking about these mindset challenges, so you came to me, you had some mindset challenges, and I want to get a kind of draw a picture here about what that experience was like for you. Um, what your challenges were like. You can kind of go into as much detail as you feel comfortable. And yeah, we'll just move throughout the conversation, getting to know what your experience was like, what your results were like. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, brother. So when you started thinking about, these mindset challenges that you were experiencing, why was it important for you at that time to dedicate your energy towards this?
Yeah, it was important for me just because I was not living a life that was enjoyable at all. It was constant doubting myself. Not only was it not enjoyable, but it was not actually livable because my business was not making any money. I was constantly doubting myself. I was constantly in my head on consultation calls with clients. I'd be constantly just undermining myself in everything that I say. It was coming across as if I was a fraud. And I just felt this huge sense of being a fraud when just a few months before I felt like I was doing good. I was getting closes, I was getting clients, I was providing my clients with value. But when I came to you is when I stopped seeing client results, is when I went for a month or two with the results just starting to dip and my confidence starting to dip and the certainty I felt within myself starting to dip. So the doubts and the fraud like feeling was just my way of living. And that came across not just in my business, but socially as well. I go to the gym and I kind of feel like hiding. I'd go to the climbing gym and I wouldn't talk to so many people because it translated over into other areas of my life as well. So it was so important for me to dedicate energy to fixing this because like that's not a life. A life of hide. Like I felt like I was hiding and I was being a fraud, and that's not enjoyable at all.
Mm, mm. Yeah, man. I remember when during our initial conversations, you came to me. You had been previously doing well in your business. You were on a very strong pathway forward, having lots of success, and then a series of things took place in your life, and that it just kind of. I remember you telling me it just kind of knocked you off, and for whatever reason, you just couldn't get back on the path that you were on previously, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So how long did it take you? How long would you say it took you to take action towards finding the solution?
So finding the solution would be finding you. And I was debating not with you because as soon as I saw you, it was like a clear sense that let's do this with Zach. But I was debating so many different things in my life. I was debating quitting what I was doing. That was one option I could do. I was debating reaching out to like some kind of mindset coach, and that was for like a month or two. And then as soon as I saw you, and I saw the work that you can do, and I saw the impact you're having on people's lives, it was a automatic within like a day. I would shoot you a message and be like, Zach, can we work together? I want to work together right now. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I was stalling when I met you. Like when I saw what you could do, it was an immediate like, let's do this. But overall, I was kind of in this haze for a month or two, just trying to figure out what the right path would be.
Yeah. Okay. And then you found out you were ready. You saw a bit of the work that I've been doing with others, and that inspired you to move forward,
Yeah, yeah,
contacting me and getting things done. Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
So for context here, you are a coach, right? You're a coach. And so you have a lot of experience with working with people, with clients.
Hmm.
And I've experienced, and I know probably all coaches, consultants on some level have experienced that it's common for people to have some kind of fear or doubt, right? When they're considering taking action. So, what was it like for you? Did you have any kind of self talk prior to taking action? So, I know kind of just a moment ago you're saying with me, okay, yeah, you were where you were, you were where you were at the time, and then you saw some great stuff going on with what I was doing with people, and then that inspired you to move forward. But along that process, was there anything going on internally that could have caused some uncertainty or doubt or fears or anything like that?
Honestly, I know that it would that I can definitely resonate with a lot more people if I tell everyone right here that I had doubts in what you could do. I had doubts in the what the price would be. I had doubts in um just if it would work for me. But honestly, I saw what you could do and I saw the impact you were having on people's lives, and there was no doubts. Like whatever the money would have been did not matter because the quality of life I was living, I would sell my house for that to get a better reality. Like my reality, and a lot of people are stuck in this reality too of feeling like a fraud and feeling all these kind of self-doubts. And the truth is like any doubts you may have of joining, whether it be the price or whatever, is all irrelevant if you just get that upgraded quality of life. At least I believe. Like nothing means more to me than having a better quality of life. So when I saw what you can do and how you're actually changing lives, there was no doubts in my brain.
Nice, man. Well, thank God you didn't have to sell your house either.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, that's awesome, man. So, by the way, as we're moving through this, as I said, you're a coach, right? You're a coach, and take this opportunity to tell people what it is that you do, so people understand, how you help people, how you work with them, what kind of coach you are.
Yeah, yeah. So I help people overcome their stutter, which is a speech impediment, because I used to stutter from age like 5 to 16. It was all right, but when I hit 16, that's when my speech got really bad and I couldn't talk and I was hiding away from the world. So my mission in like, for example, what it would be was if I were to speak, it'd be like that. So my mission in life is to bring people to the most expressive version of themselves. So that's a big reason why I felt a lot of pain, because I felt like a fraud and I felt like I couldn't help my homies who were going through the same stuff I was going through. And I couldn't like fulfill my purpose in life. And there was huge disconnect there. And so, yeah, my mission in life is to help people overcome their stutter, not let it hold them back whatsoever, become the most expressive, authentic versions of themselves. And that's what, like I said, why there was huge amount of pain connected to me not being able to do that. So again, like, yeah, that's why I'm so thankful for having met you, Zach.
That's epic, bro. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. If you had to pinpoint like maybe something specific, one thing specific that drew you towards being interested in working with me, like what would you say was it? Could be one thing, could be one or more, whatever you feel it was that kind of stuck out when you were going through the process, when you're saying, okay, I'm ready to take action. Zach's going to be my coach. What was that thing that kind of stood out to you?
Yeah. So it was when I would see you, you would be coaching. I saw a little insight of you coaching other people who are coaches as well. A group coaching. And I saw about 15 minutes of that. And just in that 15 minutes of that, the people that you were coaching were having profound in like 15 minutes were having profound experiences tracing back to their childhood, tracing back to what the actual root cause of where the doubt was coming from. And I knew for me the was not coming from that I actually was not able to produce results. I knew I could, but there was something that was holding me back. And the thing that attracted me to you was that you focused on that thing that is in your past that you're constantly relating to subconsciously or unconsciously, that is holding you back from being your free self, being the most um the tapping into that true potential that you can tap into
Mm-hmm.
once you release of this thing that's holding you back. And I knew you weren't fluff when I saw you actually diving in and releasing those past kind of traumas and those things that would hold people back.
Yeah.
And that's really what attracted me, because I knew you were the real deal when I saw that kind of work.
Nice. I love it, dude. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I always love to hear like what was it specifically that kind of that you connected with, right?
Yeah.
All right. Uh, so was there anything that came up for you that was unexpected as you were going through this program? Anything that was like, oh, this is a surprise, unexpected.
Lots. And I think that's the big where the value a lot of the value comes in, is that you dig deep into spots in my brain. You dug deep into spots in my brain that I was not aware of. So, of course, it was unexpected for me to realize the thoughts I've been thinking unconsciously or subconsciously, and putting it to a conscious level where I can see them now. Was very unexpected of what was actually holding me back.
Mm,
And yeah, there's so many things stemming from my relationship with my mother, the way I use to get validation from her and how I'm projecting that onto the world. There's so much mind-blowing stuff, and it wasn't just theory either. It was stuff that came to me that I had to take action on. And certain actions were very unexpected that I had to do, that came to me, um, that were just things that really made me uncomfortable in a way of the conversations I had to have with people to
mm,
release the things that would come up in our sessions. Um, and yeah, just there was basically the whole program, the whole working with you was an unexpected journey of things that were coming up that were stopping me from being who I actually could be.
mm. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you're watching this video right now and you're thinking, okay, it sounds like Chase had this awesome result. He had a series of challenges that he was going through, and you're thinking about your own life, your own challenges, and what you currently experience. Know that it's very simple. The inner workings of the mind are incredibly simple when you understand the language of the subconscious mind, which is where any and all beliefs, patterns, habitual levels of thinking are stored. And so, as we're kind of going through this conversation here and Chase is unpacking what he experienced, parts of it may sound complex as we talk about going through the past and uncovering stored traumas. But in fact, Chase, how simple would you say the actual process was?
Yeah, it like I've told you this before. It seems like there was underlying almost magic work at play because of how simple it was and the transformation that would come from it just in a session that we would have. Super simple language, super simple explanation you would give to me. And through the work that we would do, would arise this crazy different feeling and energetic body that I would embody through just simplicity. And that's why I was like, is this like almost magic? It feels almost like magic because of how almost dumb that it felt, of how simple it was.
Mm.
Because I thought a complex problem needed to be fixed with a complex solution. But it was a simple solution because it was a simple problem once you broke it down to me.
Yeah, once it's broken down, it's all so simple. And because it's simple, it's solvable. And that's the thing with anyone that is holding themselves back. What are they doing to hold themselves back? They're making it harder than it needs to be, more complex. And so, because they've made it so complex, they've built it into this big, challenging thing that's mysterious
Mhm.
or too hard or whatever. A big part of the reason why it's so hard is because you've made it so unnecessarily complex and complicated and therefore difficult and challenging. And that then prevents you from moving forward. When in fact, the simpler you make achieving a goal, you're right here, your goals are right here. The simpler you make that process between A to Z or A to B, the easier and simpler and more enjoyable it is to get there. And so that's why I found that the more simple we can keep things, the better your results, the more effective the process, the more enjoyable it is as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk results. Let's talk results, man. What have you seen in terms of results through completing my program?
Yeah, so the most important thing to me, like, of course, sales have gone up. Of course, I've gotten more clients,
Mhm.
but that aren't like, to be completely honest, as you know, that does not matter to me whatsoever. And that's just not me being high and mighty and being like, I don't care about the money, but it's actually understanding that all I really do care about is providing my clients with results.
Yeah.
And before I joined with you, like way before I was giving them results. And then just before I joined with you, it was 2.5 months of slowly dying out and feeling like a fraud and just grinding like teeth and nail just to get any type of results. So now it feels like an effortless kind of flow in my client calls because I'm not doubting myself anymore. I am certain of what I'm saying and that comes across to them. And when they feel that I am certain in what I say, they pick it up and they believe it and they embody it a lot easier, a lot more. So when they actually have that self-trust in me, or they have that trust in me because I have that self-trust in myself, they are able to get results. And because they're able to get results, it is upgrading the quality of clients that's bringing in because the testimonials are getting way better, and the whole it's a huge upward spiral that is coming from that, strictly because I have that certainty back inside myself. That's the main thing that we've talked about a lot is I like there's no doubt that I can help people. I get on consultation calls and I'm not trying to sell them. I'm trying to show them that like, please, I can help you. Like, I know I can help you. And when it comes from that, not that please, but when when it comes from that state of mind and that way of being that I know for a fact I can help you, it makes selling like not selling. It makes selling is just opening you up to a world that you are just oblivious to right now. And once you can understand this, it is going to change your life.
Yeah.
And that makes there's no anxiety, there's no shame, there's no fraudness feeling because I know for a fact my worth and I know I can help these people. And I know they will be happy if they join with me. So it makes client calls easy, it makes consultation calls easy, it makes selling easy, it just makes life enjoyable. And I told you before, like now I go to the gym, now I go to the climbing wall, and I'm just this fluid guy again. It all connects back into the certainty I feel of my own self-worth.
Wow. That's super powerful. So, to go back to the process of like having consultation calls, meeting with prospects, potential clients, and you're having these conversations. And I think we're a big an area where a lot of coaches and consultants get hung up on is that the energy around this sales conversation, so to speak. And it's like about this kind of selling dynamic. You have to sell them, and that's how you know you are successful or you've achieved your goal, right?
Yeah,
And the reality is you've been now through been having been able to release and let go of these blockages which were causing a misalignment between your conscious and your subconscious mind. You're now back to speaking and communicating through a place of real authenticity.
yeah,
And so now it's about just naturally aligning with those who feel and understand that level of authenticity, which makes your entire process of bringing new client, allowing yourself to help new clients so much simpler and so much more enjoyable and effortless, it sounds like, because you're not selling, you're communicating through a real place of authenticity, and that is power. And
yeah,
others feel that authenticity and power, and that's what makes someone successful. That's a big part of what makes someone successful, right? If you're doing everything that you need to do in your business and life from a place of authenticity, well, naturally everything clicks together naturally, effortlessly, easily, much
yeah,
more than before because you're not trying, you're not forcing. It's just who you are. It's a part of who you are.
yeah, yeah. And talking about that forcing, like as when I first joined, because I was having so much doubt and so much anxiety and so much that fraud feeling, I told you I would do like a cold bath for 20 minutes before each call. And then I would do breath and then I would do breath work. And then I would hype myself up. It would be like an hour-long process that I'd have to book off before each call, not just a consultation call, but like a client call.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to book off a time in order to just completely raise my state, but it didn't last long. It would be 20 minutes into the call, I would see some doubt in the other person,
Mm-hmm.
and I doubt myself automatically. It'd be inward reflection because that self-belief and that self-trust in myself was not strong. It was not concrete. It was very flimsy. So any type of miscommunication that I would see in their eyes would just cause me to doubt myself again and this downward spiral. But as you said, it's nothing you have to force. It's like something you already are, but there's just blockages in the way
Yeah.
that is stopping you from seeing that.
Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah,
Cool.
smash.
It is massive. Yeah. So, just to kind of summarize back on the results, you're now closing consistently. You're back to closing consistently, feeling empowered, as you said, authentic in your closing calls or your conversations, your coaching, every step of that of your business. And you've effectively reversed the downward spiral or slump that you were previously experiencing right before we
Mhm.
started working together. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I am closing consistently again. But what this process really allowed me to do is see that before when I was so just for frame of reference, I was closing at like 75% um when I was in that good spurt, right? And then when I hit those doubts through some events that through some events that happened, I had like 9, 10 calls in a row, did not close one. It wasn't even close to a close. And I didn't have the balls to even objection handle at all because I felt the inner doubt within myself that man, I can't even help this person. When in reality I could have. And now, but what was happening there was not only was it not closing, but I was judging my own self-worth if I was closing or not. And I was allowing the no close, the no close, the no close to build the concrete foundation that I'm someone who cannot close, and I'm someone that cannot sell, and I'm someone that cannot get results for my clients. And I was just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So a big part of working with you was detaching the self-worth I have from those type of external events and going more internally and seeing what was actually in my capabilities, what I can actually do, and judging my self-worth off of that, not off of any type of validation from other people that I can temporarily get off of clothes or whatever that was going to be. But now, like now I don't hit a close. I'm not ecstatic. I'm just like, yeah, I feel like I deserve that. This person needs my help. And
Mhm.
because of that, with your work, I'm able to not get that immense amount of, oh my God, I'm not worth it. I can't close when I don't get a close because I don't hit that extreme validation high that I get when I actually do get a close. So now it's yes, that is worth it. This makes sense. I can't wait to work with this person. And that was a major part of the transformation was stop being so erratically 1,000 out of 10 feeling when I would get some type of validation and then go down to the slumps whenever that validation would get retracted is
Yeah.
getting that kind of self-belief and self-trust and validation from within myself.
Wow. So as a result, yeah, you're not having these kind of uh, you're not experiencing any longer these like major emotional swings from the highs to the lows. It's more of like this kind of stable, stoic foundation that you've now been able to align with. So
Mhm.
you're in other words, you're not so kind of trapped within the results or the lack of results or the natural ebbs and flows of life and business because
Yeah,
you're empowered.
and as a result of that, I close more, and as a result of that,
Right.
I could get more results, more consistent results,
Right.
and yeah.
That's amazing. Like it's really impacted all elements of life, it sounds like.
Yeah, yeah, because how often do we get asked, like, "What do you do for work?" And, like, every time I would meet someone new, like, when I would feel good, I'd be like, "Yo, I help people who stutter become the most expressive versions of themselves." And now someone asks like, back then, someone asked me that question, fraud. Just fraud, like, if I say what I do, which I of course do, I help people overcome their stutter, it gets attached to, but you really don't. You're like, you really, have not been providing results for your clients recently, and the results have been slacking, and that makes the whole interaction with everyone else it makes me feel like I'm not being authentic. It makes me feel like I'm not aligned with myself. It makes me feel like I'm faking, and that gives me severe discomfort whenever I feel like I'm faking. And yeah, so it translates once that certainty was back and that self trust is able to flow. That is, yeah, it impacted all areas of life as well.
I love it, man. That's awesome. All right. So if you had the opportunity, let's say you had the opportunity to speak to the version of you months ago when you were thinking about making this change in your life and joining the program, what words of wisdom would you give to yourself?
It would be that, like, Chase, dude, look at how you're living right now. Look at what you have to do before every call. Look at what you have to do. Um, the kind of jumping jacks and the kind of bending yourself in so many different ways you have to do in order to try to even get on a call. Look at your quality of life. Look at your relationships. Look at your inner talk. Look at how you feel on a consistent basis. Do you really want to live this way? Is this something that you want to do forever? And if it's not something you want to do forever, then when is it going to change? It's only going to change when you make a change in your life. And that change in your life, to be honest, every massive change in my life has happened when I've invested in something and put leverage down to leverage myself to take the right actions. Because if I did not need leverage, if I did not need to put money down to leverage myself to take actions, then YouTube videos would work for everybody. Then that would be the solution. All I need to do is watch a mindset video on YouTube and I won't have this problem anymore. But no, it's because I need to go through a structured process. So what I would tell myself is, Chase, nothing's going to change unless you do, unless you put time, energy, and money into solving this thing that is absolutely sucking joy and fulfillment from your life. And just look at Zack. I would tell myself, look at Zack and look at a video that he's doing, because once you see the work that he's able to do, it'll be a no-brainer for you. And then I would just watch you and I'd say, yeah, I was right. That's a no-brainer for me.
Awesome, man. That's awesome.
Thank you, Zack. And I just want to say that it may have seemed so like roses and everything's perfect everything's perfect based upon what I talked about. Like, I've only praised you, when in reality, to make it more relatable, it would seem like I would have to add in some negatives and add in some things that didn't work well for me. But to be honest, it honestly, parts of it felt like magic. Like, parts of it felt like, like, Zack, what is Zack doing here? Because I only have praise. I only have, like, this stuff really works, and I wish I can add in some negatives to make it more relatable, to make it more like, oh, he's not this, like, this crazy god, but it honestly seems like it was just very, very systematic and very structured in the way that I was helped. So I wish I can add in some down points, but it was only high for me. So thank you, Zack, as well. There's no better feeling than being back on this flowy, authentic feeling of expressing and relating to people. And yeah, I can't thank you enough, man. So thanks for that, dude.